Have you ever felt like you're carrying the entire weight of the world on your shoulders, completely alone? Like nobody really sees what you're going through, nobody hears your silent cries, and the support you so badly need just isn't there? If you've ever experienced that, know this: you're not the only one. Many have walked this difficult path, quietly struggling and finding inner strength from places they didn't even know existed. But here's the truth: you are stronger than you think. The ability to rise, to grow, and to take back control of your life is already inside you. Let's explore how you can unlock that strength, even when it feels like nobody is on your side. People often wait for someone to show up and rescue them, to lend a hand, to finally acknowledge their pain and say, "I see you, I understand, I'm here for you." But what do you do when nobody shows up? When the help you hoped for never comes? When the people you believed would stand with you simply vanish? That is one of the most difficult lessons in life. Realizing that you cannot depend on others to save you. And while that truth can feel scary, it's also incredibly freeing. Because if no one is coming to rescue you, that means you are the one who can save yourself. And that's where your real power begins. You have to stop waiting for the world to notice your pain and validate your struggles. The world isn't built to guarantee fairness. It doesn't ensure that the people who suffer most get the most help. In fact, life can be cold and indifferent. It doesn't care how much pain you've endured or how exhausted you feel. The only path forward is to take full responsibility for your own life, to accept that no one else is coming, and that's perfectly okay because you have the strength to stand alone. That's a hard truth to accept. It feels unfair, even cruel. It feels like you're being asked to carry more than your share. But here's the fact: strength isn't something handed to you. It's something you build. It's formed through pain, through discipline, through the constant choice to keep getting up, even when you feel like you can't. The worst thing you can do is stay stuck in your suffering, waiting for someone to come fix it. Because in reality, only you have the power to change your life. The first step to building real strength is shifting how you think. You must stop seeing yourself as a victim of your situation. Yes, terrible things may have happened. Yes, you might have been let down, betrayed, treated unfairly, or completely ignored. It's important to acknowledge that pain. It's valid, but you can't live in it forever. You can't move forward while staying stuck in the wreckage of yesterday. The way forward is through ownership of your choices, your mindset, and your daily actions. Every morning, you need to remind yourself that this is your life. Not your family's, not your friends, not society's, yours. And that's not a punishment, that's your chance. Because when you take control of your own life, you take back your power. You stop waiting for others to give you permission to heal. You stop depending on others to provide the love and confidence you should be giving yourself. Now, this doesn't mean pretending you don't need connection. Of course, people need people. Of course, having supportive relationships makes life more manageable. But here's the hard reality: sometimes you won't have that. Sometimes the people around you are too wrapped up in their own battles to notice yours. Sometimes those you expected to rely on turn out to be unreliable. And sometimes the only real support you'll have is the one you build within yourself. So how do you do that? How do you support yourself when you feel like you're falling apart? When you're tired, when you're lonely, you start with small steps. You begin by making one simple promise to yourself and keeping it. Maybe that promise is just getting up each morning and making your bed. Maybe it's drinking enough water, or eating nourishing meals, or going to bed at a decent hour. These might seem like minor things, but they're not. They are small acts of self-worth. They are ways of telling yourself, I matter. And as you keep those little promises, you start to build trust in yourself. You begin to see that you are capable, that you don't need someone else to take care of you because you can care for yourself. That's how strength is built, not in one big moment of heroism, but in the quiet, repeated act of showing up for yourself. There will be days where you feel too weak to move, days when the weight of life feels crushing. And those are the moments that shape who you are. Because when you choose to keep going anyway, you're proving something powerful, that your circumstances don't own you, that your past doesn't control your future, that you're not at the mercy of what other people do or don't do. And here's something incredible. When you learn how to support yourself, you stop needing constant validation from others. You stop chasing approval, begging for attention, or hoping that someone will finally see your worth. Because you'll already know your worth. And when you walk through life with that inner confidence, people will notice. They'll be drawn to your strength, your clarity, your independence. Ironically, the moment you stop desperately seeking support is often when you begin to receive it. Because people are naturally attracted to those who carry themselves with certainty. But even if that support never comes, even if no one ever reaches out, you'll still be okay. Because you'll have created something much deeper than temporary help. You'll have created a solid foundation within yourself. You'll have proven, without any doubt, that no matter what happens in life, you can and will rise. You will move forward. You are unstoppable. Life is filled with hardship. There's no avoiding it. Everyone at some point will be broken. Everyone experiences loss, betrayal, disappointment, failure. Some people fall under that pressure and never rise again. Others face the same pain and still manage to stand. The difference isn't that one group is luckier or stronger or smarter. The difference is a choice, the decision to rise, no matter how many times they fall. That choice, that deep internal decision, is what separates those who survive. Pain is guaranteed in life, but suffering is something else. Suffering is what happens when you let that pain take over your identity, when your past becomes your entire story, when you lose sight of everything ahead of you because you're too fixated on what's already happened. And that's an easy place to fall into, especially if you've been hurt repeatedly, especially when you've tried your best and still came up short. When you feel like life keeps handing you reasons to give up, it's tempting to just stop trying. But here's the thing, even in those dark moments, there is still a choice to keep moving even if it's slow, a choice to believe in something better, a choice to show up for yourself even when it feels like nobody else will. And that choice, that commitment to yourself, is where transformation begins. Keep going. You are capable of more than you know. Every time you choose to rise when it would be easier to quit, you're building something unbreakable inside yourself. You are shaping a version of you that cannot be destroyed by outside forces, because your strength comes from within, not from praise, not from approval, not from external help, but from your own decision to keep going. Think about it. How many times have you already overcome what you thought would break you? How many times have you kept moving forward, even when your heart was heavy, your energy drained, and your faith almost gone? That wasn't luck. That was you. That was your strength. That was your courage. And if you've done it before, you can do it again. The world might not always recognize your efforts. You may not get applause or appreciation. In fact, some of your hardest battles will be fought in silence, with no one watching, no one cheering you on. But those silent battles, they are the ones that truly define you, because they reveal who you are when no one is looking. They show your real character, your real power. So don't be discouraged if your progress goes unnoticed. Don't let the absence of recognition make you doubt your path. Keep building, keep growing, and keep rising. For you. Your journey isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to prove anything at all. Someone who knows their worth, even in silence. Someone who walks in their truth, even when the world isn't watching. And remember, your journey isn't a straight line. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you fall back into old habits, when the progress seems to vanish, when it feels like nothing is working. That's normal. That's human. Growth isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about starting again and again and again, no matter how many times you stumble. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. The ones who learn from every failure and use it as fuel to move forward. Every mistake, every fall, every disappointment can become a stepping stone if you let it. So be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. Stop criticizing every misstep. Stop punishing yourself for not being perfect. You are growing, you are evolving. And that process is messy, uncomfortable, and slow, but it's also beautiful. When you begin to treat yourself with love, everything starts to shift. You stop chasing things that harm you. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop tolerating relationships, jobs, environments, and habits that drain you. And you begin to build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good from the outside. This kind of change takes time. It takes patience. It takes daily effort. But every small step you take matters. Every healthy choice, every boundary you set, every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, it adds up. Over time, those little decisions turn into a life you're proud of. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to keep showing up. Keep doing the next right thing. Keep honoring your growth even when it feels slow. And as you do, you'll start to notice something amazing. The heaviness starts to lift. The pain doesn't completely disappear, but it doesn't control you anymore. You start to feel stronger, more peaceful, more in control. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe in your ability to create something better. This is how you reclaim your power, not by waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect person, but by taking back control little by little every single day. No one else can do this for you. And that's not a reason to feel hopeless. It's a reason to feel empowered. Because if the change is in your hands, then your future truly belongs to you. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are a survivor of everything life has thrown your way. You have stood in the storm and kept going. You have faced darkness and chosen light. You are stronger than you think, braver than you know, and more capable than you realize. You are not here just to exist, to survive, to settle. You are here to live fully, to grow into the highest version of yourself, to love deeply, to speak truth, to find purpose, and to build a life that reflects the strength and beauty inside you. So from this moment on, make yourself a promise, no matter what happens, you will not give up on you. Not when it gets hard, not when it gets lonely, not when it feels impossible. Because you are worth fighting for. Your dreams are worth fighting for, your peace, your healing, your growth. It all matters. Let your story be one of resilience, of transformation, of courage. Let your scars become reminders of your victories. Let your pain become a driving force for change, not an excuse to stop. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the author of your own story, and the next chapter is still unwritten. Make it a story of rising, of overcoming, of becoming. Make it powerful, make it real, make it yours. That's just how things are, and you might think there's nothing you can do about it, but that belief is false. It's one of the most harmful lies you could ever believe, because once you accept it, you give away your power. You stop trying to fight back. People often think that being strong means never falling apart. That strong people never have doubts, never feel weak, and never reach their limit. But that's simply not true. The strongest people you'll ever come across are usually the ones who've been broken again and again, yet they still choose to stand up and keep going. Real strength isn't about acting like nothing affects you. It's about deciding, even in your darkest times, that you won't let the darkness win. And that choice isn't something you make just once. It's a decision you must make every single day. You have to keep choosing to get out of bed when you feel like staying down. You have to keep moving forward even when your body feels heavy and tired. You have to take one more step even when all you want is to give up. And yes, that's tiring. It's extremely hard to keep going, especially when nothing seems to change, when the struggle seems to never end, when each step forward feels like it's followed by 2 steps back. But what's the other option? To stop trying? To accept sadness and pain as your destiny? To let life knock you down forever? You might think, it's not my fault. Life has been unfair. If only things were different, I wouldn't be going through this. And maybe that's true. Maybe life did deal you a tough hand. But that still doesn't change one thing. You are the only person who can decide if you will stay down or not. No one is coming to carry you forward. No one else can live your life for you. If you want to rise, you'll have to do it yourself. And that can be scary because it means there are no promises. Even if you give it your all, you may still face struggles. You may still lose people or things that matter. You may still feel lonely, tired, or unsure of where you're going. But if you keep rising, if you don't let life break you fully, something incredible starts to happen. You become tough in a way that can't be taken away from you. You gain a strength that doesn't depend on what's happening around you. You begin to see that you're much stronger than you ever believed. The pain that once felt like it would destroy you has actually made you more powerful, more aware, more alive. Because when you've gone through your worst and survived, you start to see your true strength. You stop fearing hard times because you've already faced them and made it through. And knowing that changes everything. When you understand that falling down is part of life, but staying down is a choice, you stop being afraid to fail. You stop letting mistakes or setbacks define who you are. You stop seeing problems as impossible and start seeing them as ways to grow even stronger. That kind of thinking is a powerful change. Every time you stand up again, you rewrite your story. You prove to yourself that your lowest moments do not define you, that you are not broken forever, that you can rise again, no matter how many times you fall. That is what true strength is. Not the lack of struggle, but the nonstop decision to not be defeated by it. There is a lie that many people, especially women, have been told for a long time, that their worth depends on how much they give, how much they can handle, and how much they can sacrifice for other people. That their value comes from how well they please others, how much they can bend, and how long they can take pain before they break. This lie keeps people stuck in harmful relationships, in one-sided friendships, and in family situations where they feel invisible or used. It's a lie that needs to be broken if you ever want to live a life that really belongs to you. The idea that setting boundaries is selfish is one of the most damaging beliefs out there. It tells you that your needs, your limits, and your peace don't matter as much as what others want from you. That if someone is upset, annoyed, or uncomfortable because you're standing up for yourself, then you must be doing something wrong. But think about what that really says. It says you should put everyone else above yourself, that your comfort, your peace of mind, even your safety, should be given up just to please others. That's not kindness. That's not love. That's slowly destroying yourself while calling it goodness. People who have a hard time setting boundaries usually carry a fear deep inside. If I say no, if I ask for respect, if I stop accepting things that hurt me, I'll lose people. And that fear is real. You will lose some people. But here's the truth that's hard to hear. If someone disappears the moment you start respecting yourself, they were never really there for you in the first place. If they only care about you when you're making life easier for them, if they stick around only when you're giving, bending, and sacrificing, then they don't love you. They love what you do for them. Once you see that clearly, something changes. You realize that losing those people isn't a loss. It's a necessary step forward. It's like taking off a heavy coat you've been dragging around for years. Yes, it will hurt. It hurts to watch people walk away. It hurts to realize that some relationships only existed because you were willing to give everything. But in that pain, there's also a kind of freedom. When you stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you, you make space for the relationships that are real. Boundaries aren't meant to shut everyone out. They aren't walls to keep you lonely. They are doors with locks that only you control. They help you choose who gets to be close to you. They help you decide who is worth your time, your energy, your care. Boundaries are the lines